Devi.
And I'm Eileen. And tonight we are joined by Patrick. So he is the co-founder of Pushkart.ph. Hi Patrick, good evening.
Hi guys!
Hi.
Thanks for inviting me to be part of your show.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Actually, we invited... Yes. Actually, we wanted to talk to you about your experience with Pushkart.ph.
I'm currently a co-founder of Pushkart.ph, one of 5 co-founders, and I'm heading marketing for the organization as a chief marketing officer. Before that, I've been doing marketing for 10 years, first with Canon, then with SM Super Malls, and then I shifted towards the technology industry where I was with BPI to develop their electronic channels as a brand manager. Afterwards, I joined Paymaya as the marketing head to launch the product, and now, of course, alongside Pushkart, I'm currently also a marketing head for Oriente Technology.
So what exactly motivated you to become an entrepreneur?
So basically, I've been planning to be an entrepreneur already for the past 6 years, I believe. Since I was 24 or 25, my parents always taught me to plan ahead. So 5 years ago, they told me to not only invest my money wisely and to start saving for the future, but to also discover where my skills could be used towards entrepreneurship, towards building something of my own. I've been doing marketing for 10 years, and I saw that my key skill is really towards marketing. And I've been building brands for other companies. But I realized that what if I could use my skills to be able to build my own brand, to build my own company. And so thankfully, Pushkart came along and it was the right timing for me.
What were your motivations for being an entrepreneur? Was it?
You can achieve the same goals through being an employee or in the corporate space. Although it's really different when you're already at a certain stage in your life and you want to, of course, create a legacy for yourself. So I said to myself, I want to create a legacy for myself. Aside from starting other products, I want to start my own. So that's the first. And of course, at the same time, I saw huge potential and a huge opportunity in the e-commerce space. So thankfully, Pushkart came into my life at this point in time.
Alright, so what exactly did you find, particularly in the e-commerce space, that made such a compelling impact on you?
Okay, so it's actually a quite opportune time for Pushkart because, of course, we saw the growth in e-commerce and it's in its infancy stages here in the Philippines. It's grown massively in other countries and it hasn't picked up yet. So we feel like the timing is right for e-commerce right now. And at the same time, we saw strategic partnerships that we could maximize. Like for example, Fisher Supermarket approached us. Ever Supermarket was also a partner that had potential. So we saw that how could we maximize e-commerce while maximizing the partnerships that we had. And together we were able to conceptualize, actually, Joshua Aragon, our CEO, conceptualized that we could actually do an online grocery service. So the timing is right. We had key partnerships in mind. At the same time, we believed our key skills could actually focus on this business line.
Aside from the current partners such as Fisher Mall and the like, are you planning to have more business partnerships with other malls, or are you looking also into other smaller businesses to partner with?
Very good question. Actually, we haven't thought about where to take Pushkart for the next phase, but for now, we're continually partnering with other supermarkets and we'd like to really hone our skills and our expertise in the online grocery service. I believe we're the first local player to really focus on e-commerce and really take it to the next stage, and we're really maximizing this opportunity. Now, in the future, of course, we'd like to expand to other regions outside of Metro Manila since Pushkart is just delivering to Metro Manila. We'd like to deliver to Metro Cebu, Metro Davao, other regions. Hopefully, in the near future, we could do that. At the same time, we'd like to also expand to other countries such as, for example, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia. Those countries which would basically be able to maximize the opportunity. And at the same time, who knows, in the future, with our key skills, we could also bring the e-commerce idea to other avenues, like for example, construction. We could probably bring it towards office supplies and the like. So we're trying to find new avenues which are not saturated yet. So as you know, Lazada is already owning the internet space for electronics, Zalora's there for fashion and lifestyle. So we want Pushkart to be the brand for consumer goods.
What's so interesting about the online grocery shopping?
Well, it's actually quite motivational for us also because we know that it's a need. We know how difficult it is for Filipinos to go outside with the traffic, how long it takes for them to reach point A to point B. We computed, based on our research, it takes an average of 2.5 hours for somebody to leave their house, go through traffic, line up through the supermarket, do their grocery shopping, and get home. So that 2.5 hours could be saved if they went online and did their grocery shopping in 15 minutes, for example, which is the average time for our users. So it's quite motivational for us because at the end of the day, we're helping Filipinos, and at the end of the day, it's something that we could use as well.
How do we ensure our consumers that it is safe to shop online since
Unlike other nations which are more used to, of course, online shopping, using their credit cards online, getting goods delivered to their homes, here the Filipinos are still afraid that their cards could be hacked. They're still afraid that what they buy online is not what they're going to receive at their homes. So one of the things we do is, of course, brandish the partnerships that we have. We have partnerships with, of course, Fisher Supermarket and Ever Supermarket, which are two reputable brands in terms of source. So at least we have a good source. At the same time, we also offer other options like cash on delivery. We offer easy modes for example, return of products. If they're not happy with a certain product, if the product is missing, we'll make sure to refund. So I believe it's just really engaging with the customer, really showing them that we're approachable, showing them that, of course, we're a brand that's really out to help, we're customer-centric. And at the same time, I think it's important you also partner with the right brands which you can tap the reputation of as well. So since we don't have a reputation at first, for example, when we launched in April, we had to partner with the right brands to show that we're also a reputable brand. So in essence, it's like we're latching onto their reputation to build ours. And like right now, we're partnering with Coca-Cola, so we have a partnership with them. We're also partnering with other brands such as Unilever, Nestle, to be able to show that, yes, just the fact that they have partnered with us, then of course, it's a brand that people are used to, it's a brand that people are accustomed to. They would also trust us at the same time.
I believe we have questions from our audience. Anyone from our audience who wants to raise a question?
Pat, I have a question. So, going back to the time that you started your startup company, do you have any challenges in terms of acquiring funding, looking for funding for your startup?
Okay, of course, every startup has its challenges. It wouldn't be a startup if it wasn't challenged at first. So one of the challenges which we of course encountered was launching the operations. Now, we were self-funded at first, in our first few years. I would say we've been developing the system since late 2015. And until early 2017, we were just self-funded. So we had to maximize whatever resources we had to develop a product, to really polish it, and at the same time start the operations. So that was always the first step. With startups, as you know, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much funding you have to start from scratch and you have to build everything. The processes, you have to build a team, you have to find the right talent. Finding the right talent is also difficult, so we had to be patient with it. We made sure we turned down certain talents who weren't a fit for your organization. And I think it's most important that you find the right players or right members who would actually provide the right culture also for your organization. That's the first challenge, I would believe. Another challenge, of course, would be, as you know, funding. So, of course, how do you garner funding without actually having results? And before we launched, we already got our first round of funding through an angel investor. And thankfully, we were invited to certain avenues and startup competitions. And for one, we were invited to be part of the final pitch. So I'm not allowed to share with you or disclose with you who won. But I would say it's one avenue that's able to help us build our reputation at the same time, garner funding. Okay, if I were to give you 3 tips, I would believe the first would be fail fast and fail forward. Don't be afraid to try new ideas. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to take action. There are so many ideas that are out there that could actually help others, but since people didn't take action, then it didn't take place. A lot of people tell me, oh, online grocery service, I thought about that 5 years ago, I thought about this 10 years ago, but at the end of the day, they didn't do it. And why did they not do it? Because they didn't have the right support group and they didn't have courage to do it. So that's what makes a successful entrepreneur from a could-be entrepreneur actually, for one. Second would be, make sure you maximize your opportunities. As a startup, you need to not only rely on your own resources, but also the resources of your partners, other startups as well. You could join support groups. Like for example, Pushkart is actually part of IMAP. We're also part of DTI. The government is very supportive for startups now. Do you know that certain cities actually allow your startup to be tax-free for 2 years? Then that's something you can maximize. We also join startup competitions, startup opens. That hones not only our knowledge in terms of pitching our business to potential VCs or investors, but that also helps us build our network. You wouldn't be surprised actually, you wouldn't know how many startups there are that are actually willing to partner with other startups and help. No matter how big this startup is, they also want to help other startups grow because it helps the industry in general here in the Philippines. And lastly, I believe you have to do a startup or a business for the right reasons. You have to have the right motives. If money or fame or legacy is all that you're after, then I believe you won't be successful. And also you need to make sure that you're able to help others through your business. If you're focused on your customer, if you're God-fearing, and at the same time you really want to help others with the heart, then I believe that you have the right recipe for success.
Okay, thank you very much, Pat, for
Thank you,
your
ladies.
time tonight.
Thank you, team.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for tonight. So we hope to see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye.